Hello, my name is Scribble, and this is the Week 6 battle for the Seoul Draft League. This week we are playing Tree Stain. If you haven't seen the team builder, be sure to check that out, and you'll know what we brought and why. I didn't make any changes since the team builder right before the game, which is actually a mistake, because, well, I guess I'll point it out in a second. But first, as you can see, Tree Stain brought Gouging Fire, Walking Wake, Goldingo, Corviknight, Terra Electric Crabominable, and Torkoal. So notably, Terra Raging Bolt was benched, and that's the best Pokemon on Tree Stain's draft. So that was very surprising to me. And the Crab came, and Terra Electric Crab definitely scared me a little bit, because I'm looking at my team and I don't really have a switch into that, because the only ice resist I brought is my Terra Water Annihilate, but that's weak to Terra Electric Thunder Punch. And so, the Crab is pretty scary, like, legitimately. I'm thinking maybe it's like an Assault Vest variant, just so it can, like, stomach hits and deal a lot in return. Maybe Shuka Berry for a Tinglu Earthquake. But, it looks like a pretty strong breaker versus the specific kind of build I brought. And, that definitely scared me. But, there wasn't really much to think about. I am just a Hazards lead Deoxys, and I'm going to try to get up Hazards and go from there. We do have our Bulk Up Annihilate win con, which looks pretty good. No Raging Bolt means Terra Water is like a lot better as opposed to Terra Fairy. Corviknight did come, and I think the Corviknight could maybe be Iron Defense to stop the Annihilate, but I don't know for sure. And yeah, so the mistake I made about not making any changes before the game is Chimecho. I was initially Screens in the team builder, if you remember, and so I had Light Clay on Chimecho. But I changed it to Taunt and Wish, and I did not change the item, I just forgot. So we are Light Clay Chimecho with no Screens. So that may come back to bite us, but we'll just get into the replay and then see how it goes. So just a fair warning. This game is, how do I preface this? This game is interesting. Maybe it's better to just show you. And it's one of those games. If you know, you know. But all right, I'm gonna lead with Deoxys as he leads with Torkoal. No surprise there. It's a Sun team. You usually lead with Torkoal here. So I'm just gonna get up my rocks as Torkoal actually stays in and overheats. And it does a big chunk, and here in the chat you'll see Tree Stain says that he put the wrong item, and so that's unfortunate. So he also had a mistake in the item slot of the builder, where I had a useless Light Clay on Chimecho, and as you'll see, his Torkoal is Eject Button instead of Eject Pack, which is what he wanted, to overheat and then get momentum right away. So, yeah, funny start to the game. But I get up my rocks, and in comes Walking Wake. I also dent the Torkoal, and it's going to take rocks damage because it's not boots. So Torkoal is almost dead already, which is nice. But in comes Walking Wake, and I don't have a switch in, so I'm just going to sack my Deoxys. It clicks Knockoff here, which I think is very interesting. That, to me, tells me that this Walking Wake is not Choice Specs, because if you're Choice Specs, I think you just click a water move here, or even a dragon move. Yeah, dragon move is what you click. I have no dragon resist brought. So if you're specs, you just click Draco. But Knock, I think this could be like maybe Mystic Water, maybe Draco Plate, the other one. It's not Boots. I guess it could be Scarfed, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I just said it's probably not choiced. Whoa, what happened there? Okay. But I go into my Annihilate. This is my water resist, besides Alolan Executor, but that just dies to a Draco. And I think this isn't choiced, so I don't want to go Executor. So I'm going to go Annihilate, and I believe I just Rage Fist, which I think is a mistake, because I don't think the Walking Wake is ever going to stay in and attack me here. They don't know my set. I could be banded. And Corviknight's a very free scout. I think I should bulk up first. Or make a double switch. But it is a little hard, because if the Walking Wake just elects to click Draco Meteor, I kind of lose a Pokemon. And yeah, this Walking Wake is a massive problem to deal with. And I think our prep versus the Walking Wake was not enough. Anyway, in comes Corviknight, which is Rocky Helmet. I decide to bulk up in front of it and see what it wants to do. And it actually reveals bulk up itself. So here I'm kicking myself because I almost put Encore on Annihilate. And if I had Encore, that would allow me to beat the Corviknight 1v1. But I don't. So that means I am going to lose because this has Roost and I don't. So I just get out right away into ZAPDOS as the Corviknight bulks up again. And here I have a very free Heat Wave click. I can also Volt Switch. Volt is maybe better, actually, but actually, yeah, Volt is just way better. I don't know why I didn't click Volt Switch here, because obviously Corviknight is not staying in. But I click Heat Wave, thinking it's like a free button. If Gouging Fire comes in, I get to see if it's boots or not, and I can go my Ting-Lu on it. Sun isn't up, so it's not that scary. I could even go my Annihilate on Gouging Fire. I think that was probably my rationale. And if Walking Wake comes in, we are specially defensive, ZAPDOS, and I think it's not Specs, so I would probably just Volt Switch on that. Okay, yeah, I understand why I Heat Waved, but Volt Switch is probably better in hindsight. But anyway, I miss Heat Wave. So I believe this is ZAPDOS' 4th Heat Wave miss of the season. And it is very unfortunate because, as you'll see here, I Volt Switch thinking I'll kill the Torkoal, but it lives on 1 HP. And this is really annoying. I go into my Annihilate because hoping he'll just like use Overheat again. But now he's able to get up his rocks. And that's just super unfortunate. Now my whole team's going to get worn down. I didn't bring any removal. And here I think that he will go into Corviknight to just Roost or something and just bulk up alongside me. Because if Torkoal just dies now, then Sun is never coming up again as rocks are up, and he could try to defog with Corviknight later. And since it is bulk up and my Rage Fist isn't boosted, then I feel like he doesn't have to worry about Annihilate too much, about like proccing Defiant. So I bulk up, but this is probably too greedy and maybe a bit of an over prediction as he does just Will-O-Wisp me. I knew this was possible, but I also knew I had Healing Wish in the back on Chimecho, so I knew it wasn't the end of the world, but now I'm forced to Healing Wish Annihilate at some point when I wouldn't have had to before. In comes Corviknight as I, oh yeah, now he preserves the Torkoal as Corviknight comes in. And now I'm burned, I especially lose this 1v1. So I actually go into Chimecho this time. Corviknight does just Roost. I want to keep my rocks up because I don't want Torkoal to come back in for free, but he does elect to just sack Torkoal there. I taunted to prevent defog on the Corviknight. But Torkoal is sacked, so Sun isn't really valued, I guess. In comes Walking Wake. I am specially defensive Chimecho. I don't have a switch in, so I like to stay in and wish just to see what it wants to do. Hydro Steam is not a 2-hit KO, but now Draco Meteor will kill me. So I go into my Annihilate, knowing that the Wish is coming, and I'll get back to full, and I'll boost my Rage Fist. He knocks off my Leftovers, which is unfortunate because now I can't use Protect to get a little extra recovery. The Walking Wake elects to stay in and Draco this time as I bulk up, which, again, I don't really understand what I'm doing with Annihilate. I think I'm not playing my Annihilate well this game, but I don't know. What is the rationale for bulk up here? I think it might literally just be predicting a switch to Corviknight and just forcing something to happen, but if I'm going to predict a Corviknight switch, then why don't I just go ZAPDOS in the first place? Or I could even go Ting-Lu here on the Draco Meteor, but Ting-Lu is going to get annoyed by Corviknight itself. Yeah, I think in this build, I didn't bring enough for Corviknight, which is really costing me. I said in prep that ZAPDOS would be there to deal with Corviknight for us, but that's really the only thing we have for Corviknight, and Corviknight is stopping our main win con. So we're really struggling to make progress this game. What do I do here? I just go into Ting-Lu now that it's at a -2 special attack. As he just Dracos again. Does nothing because we're Assault Vest. Here it just flip turns, and in comes the crab. What do I click? I just throat chop, expecting Corviknight to come in, actually, yeah. I would have liked to make a double here, but I knew the Walking Wake could have flip turn. It's not choice locked. It's probably its last move. And then I just lose momentum. Throat Chop gets me a little bit of chip. I stay in. I don't have an Ice Hammer switch in because my Annihilate is almost dead. And Tinglu is naturally faster than Crabominable, but he reveals he has some speed investment. And so he just kills my Tinglu. In comes Chimecho. After Ice Hammer drops its speed, now, what do I do? I believe I Healing Wish as it Terra Electrics to Thunder Punch. So I bring back my Annihilate. And now, what do I do here? I think I go, yeah, I go hard Executor on Thunder Punch, because you're not clicking Ice Hammer that turn. And now I threaten the Crabominable with either Draco Meteor or Earthquake. So I think Corviknight is the scout, but why would he go Corviknight instead of Golden Go? Golden Go doesn't do anything for him anymore, so I should just click Earthquake here. It covers the Crabominable staying in, and it also hits Golden Go harder than a Draco. But I Draco thinking Corviknight is going to come out, but in comes Golden Go. I crit it. It does nothing. I believe that reveals Assault Vest, and it is Assault Vest. I saw after the game. But in comes Corviknight now, scouting for Earthquake. And so he gets me there. I have to go into my ZAPDOS, otherwise I just lose my my Executor and also the game if this just starts bulk upping. But he makes a good double into his Crab. And now I go for Heat Wave and I miss. So, the game's, surprisingly, it's not over. It is pretty over, but in my head I'm like, okay, my Annihilate is stacked to a 150 base power Rage Fist. Maybe there's some way where I can get a bulk up off and I can break through enough of the team for a Alolan Executor to clean up with enough Custap Berry procs with Harvest Endure. That's my win con that I'm going for right now. So, but to do that, I need to weaken the Crabominable a little bit. But I miss my Heat Wave, but Heat Thunder Punch is predicting me to go into Annihilate. So this is the second game this season that Zapdos has missed 2 Heat Waves, and it's also its 5th Heat Wave miss. So Zapdos is like a giga fraud on my draft. Like, I don't know. This is I'm not a fan of Zapdos, I do have to say. This is actually the first time I've ever drafted Zapdos. But it's been disappointing me. It's just not hitting its moves. But now, oh, I Roost actually. But he predicts that in just Earthquakes, which is smart. So now I just Heat Wave again. Thankfully, I hit, and I actually burn the Crabominable. And now, you might think that this burn is wonderful because now I could maybe go into my Annihilate and bulk up. But I ran some calcs, and even with the burn, my I take too much damage, and I don't recover enough for Annihilate to win. So, now I go into my Annihilate to just Drain Punch and kill this, get as much health back as possible, and then maybe we can cheese a win somehow. It's pretty over. I don't know how we beat the Gouging Fire or the Corviknight, but that's my win con with some bulk up shenanigans. So I just Drain Punch, but it's actually Custap Berry Crab, and so this is going to get my Annihilate down to a kill range of everything on the draft. In comes Walking Wake, and it just kills me with Draco. And now it's Alolan Executor versus the world. So, in theory, there's a way. I endure here to live the next Draco. Now I get my Custap Berry guaranteed. So, I Custap Berry, Draco Meteor, kill the Walking Wake. That's 1. Needs 3 more. I don't get my Harvest proc at the end of this turn. It's only a 50% chance. So I endure this turn. Gouging Fire Flare Blitz is going for a burn, but it doesn't get it, and I do get my next Custap Berry. So now my play is to go for a Draco Meteor and hope for a crit. A crit will kill the Gouging Fire, but I'm also going to need to crit the Corviknight and the Golden Go, and also keep proccing Harvest Berry, or keep proccing Harvest to get more Custap Berries. So the odds of Alolan Executor pulling this off are unfortunately next to impossible. But I go for it. It is my out. I go for a Draco, but unfortunately I do not get the crit, and the Gouging Fire is going to pick off the Alolan Executor, and we unfortunately lose our first game of the season in an 0-3 loss. Alright, so I think this was a very sloppy game in terms of both play and prep. You'll notice the team builder was probably it was the shortest team builder of the entire season so far. I even just had a useless item on Chimecho. So, definitely should have thought things through more. Like I said, Corviknight ended up being more of an issue than I anticipated with the build. I definitely should have accounted for Corviknight more. Just having some other breaker option to get through Corviknight would have done wonders. Maybe we do bring Metagross after all. That also gives us a Dragon answer. Maybe we need Tentacruel to switch into the Walking Wake. I don't know. But maybe Chimecho was a bit too greedy here. But I did want to bring Chimecho to at least one game. And it looked okay to me. But what else? I think my opponent had pretty cool prep. I liked the Custat Berry on Crab. That was very funny. I think it's also hilarious how ZAPDOS Heat Wave Burn hit the procced the Crab into Custat Berry. If we didn't get that burn, then Annihilate can come in and just Drain Punch, and it will be at near full health. And then maybe there's a way. It's super unlikely, but it's probably still going to come down to if Alolan Executor can crit and proc Harvest. But yeah, I don't know. And there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, here. So missing Heat Wave was really annoying to not kill the Torkoal, and I was forced to play with Rocks Up. But what's actually even funnier is that this Volt Switch, doing 25%, was an exact minimum roll as well on the Torkoal. Like, if I don't roll exactly minimum, then I just kill the Torkoal, and I don't have to play with Rocks Up. And my Annihilate also never gets burned, but that one's more my fault. I should have just attacked this here. So yeah, not a great game, I think. On our part, our opponent played fine. It is funny that they also had the prep mistake with eject button instead of eject pack, but it still got the momentum. Basically, the only thing it cost them is 50% on their Torkoal, which is like, it's not irrelevant, but it's at least not the end of the world. You do still get momentum, but yeah, I don't really know what kind of insight we can gain from this game. It is usually good to reflect on your losses, so I guess we can go over why we lost. I do believe it is mostly a prep and how we played or Annihilate issue. I'll reiterate one last time that we needed more for Corviknight. We needed something else here. Chimecho is probably too greedy, or maybe Screens was the play after all. Screens would have made this a lot more bearable with the Walking Wake switching into that. But, oh, there was no Venusaur either. I forgot to mention that at Team Preview. No Venusaur was a little surprising. So, yeah, I think prep first to support Annihilate was poor, and I also think playing Annihilate was poor. I think, in hindsight, we should have been a move to deal with Bulk Up Corviknight, because that was the obvious Annihilate counterplay. But I went for Protect because I thought the game would play out a little differently. I thought the Corviknight might be Iron Defense in prep. I should have mentioned Bulk Up, because Bulk Up is also just reasonable. It does the same thing, if as long as my Rage Fist isn't boosted. So, yeah, not a great showing on our part, but on the bright side, we are already confirmed for playoffs. In fact, we are already confirmed for a top 2 seed, and that is important because in this league, the top 2 seeds during the preliminary rounds get a bye into semifinals of playoffs. So we will not have to play quarterfinals guaranteed, but there is still one more week of preliminary rounds, and we actually play the other top 2 seed, Scion. So Scion is one of my good friends. He's a very good player, and we'll see what we can do. He is a big fan of Chimecho, so I'm gonna see if we can sweep him with Chimecho, and we'll go from there. It genuinely does not matter for anything next week, so maybe we'll have more of a fun build, or maybe we'll go super tryhard. I don't know. We'll see how the team builder goes. But yeah, that'll be that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you for next week's team builder. Bye bye.